High ticket closing is painted as the dream career in sales. Gurus will promise you you're gonna make six figures working just a few hours a day from any place on earth, and that you only need 1 month and a laptop to master this skill. But you know what's crazy? 95% of people who enter this field burn out within their first year and quit, drowning in rejection and unrealistic expectation that these gurus set for them. You know the drill. Lambos, 10K a month, fancy watches, luxury vacations, things of that nature. But how does high ticket closing actually work when you strip away all the guru nonsense? That's what I'm gonna break down for you in this video. If you don't know me, my name is Joel Yee, high ticket closer, TEDx speaker, and a sales team architect. I've trained over 5,000 closers, built 20 plus 7 and 8 figure sales teams, and helped generate over $250 million in revenue. I've led $50 million sales forces, and today I run Sales Possible, where we help businesses scale by fixing their sales team. So let's dive in. What exactly is high ticket sales? Now, if you're online on social media, you probably see all these ads about information, courses, and coaching products, right? How to open up an Amazon FBA store, how to run an Airbnb business, how to get into this crypto bot thing. Think about it for a second. Those marketers selling these courses and coaching programs, they're not the actual ones selling on the phone. They're not the actual ones selling on Zoom. They hire what we call closers and setters, sales professionals, to run their sales teams, to help them make more money. So high ticket sales essentially is selling packages ranging from $2,000 all the way to $100,000, where you can make commissions doing so. Typically, you can get paid anywhere from 7% up to 20%, helping set and close the deal. So let's say you're a closer selling a $5,000 fitness package, and each day you get to speak to 10 prospects, 10 potential customers. And out of 10, you get to close 2 deals. So 2 times 5,000, that's $10,000. And if you get paid 10%, that's $1,000 that day. Gurus would make it sound really nice, like, oh, you just do that 30 days a month and you make $30,000 that month. But it's not as simple as that. What they don't tell you is the number of no-shows. So you got 10 appointments booked, 4 of them might not show up. So you might only talk to 6 people. And out of 6 people, even at a 20% close rate, you might only close 1. And that one might not be a paid in full. It might not be the full $5,000. It might be split up. Maybe your prospect can only make $500 the first month. They have to pay the remaining 11 months or 10 months. So you're gonna get paid 10% on each month. Now, of course, some customers will make the full 5,000 investment up front. You're gonna get 10%, $500, awesome. But a lot of gurus will oversell this and hype it up, but that's not realistic. Here's the reality. I've made multiple 6 and multiple 7 figures for myself through high ticket sales. I'm not saying that you're gonna do that as well, but what I can tell you is that this is a legitimate industry, it's a real job, but just be careful of what other gurus might tell you and overhype this industry. And here's what a typical day looks like for a high ticket closer or setter. When you wake up, you're gonna report remotely. This is great because you don't have to work in a physical office, right? Or drive a commute for 30 minutes an hour, right? And go crazy in traffic. Don't just be the guy that rolls out of bed and go straight to the laptop and start making calls, right? You've gotta practice. You typically wanna meditate, do your workouts in the morning. If you do that, you typically then wanna role play and get sharp, right? It's like sharpening the axe before you get on calls. Now, once you get on calls, the day is quite straightforward. If you're an inbound closer, you're gonna have appointments booked on your calendars, right? Like I said, maybe 10 appointments that day. You need to confirm and make sure they're gonna show up. Now, if you're a setter and you're mainly doing outbound, you're gonna log into a CRM like HubSpot, Go High Level, and you're gonna have a smart list or specific list of people that you can dial. And basically that's it. You load them on a power dialer, you click dial, and it's gonna start ringing, and you're gonna call, right? And you do that for a 4-hour block or a 3-hour block. We call that the golden hour in sales. Now, a side note, the reason why sales professionals aren't successful is because they cannot respect their golden hours. So in a golden hour, let's say it's a 3-hour block, you do nothing but sales generating activity within those 3 hours. So no checking Facebook, no going to get food, no walking your dog. It's 3 hours of focus time. Anyways, back to the video. So a setter, you would dial for 3 hours and you would start setting appointments. And as a closer, like we said, you would take inbound appointments, make sure they show up, and close them within a 45-minute to a 60-minute appointment. Sometimes calls can go longer, and that's just part of the game, but it's a great gig because you're sitting at home, you're in front of a computer, and you're dialing through a CRM, or you're on Zoom, taking calls, meeting with prospects, and then helping walk them to the sale. Notice how I said help someone to buy, because you can force them to buy. That's not closing. That's just basically strong arm robbery, or just strong arming them to buy, right? You're forcing somebody. That's where sales gets a negative rep. So high ticket sales, just to quickly recap, they're ads online for courses and coaching programs. You will be either a setter or a closer. If you're a setter, you will outbound dial to set appointments. There are also inbound setter roles where you can take appointments, 15-minute calls, and then set them for a closer, but you're setting appointments. And then if you're a closer, you take these appointments and you close them. You collect money in the bank. That's what high ticket sales is. Second question, how do you get into high ticket sales? What a lot of gurus will sell you is a placement program where they say, if you pay me 5K, 10K, I will make sure you get on a good offer. Friends, that is further from the truth. No one can guarantee getting you an offer because number one, we don't know what your skill level is. Number two, you might not even be the right fit for the specific offer. And number three, the business owner or the sales manager will conduct interviews with dozens of people. So no one can guarantee you placement. If someone is guaranteeing that they're gonna get you an offer, you need to run away and run away fast. What I can tell you is these are my favorite platforms to get online remote sales gigs. In fact, one of my first ever clients, Rudy Maurer, he's a very successful coach in Miami, Florida now. I actually met Rudy 7 years ago on Upwork. Upwork.com, great place to find remote sales roles. I got 3 of my first remote sales roles from Upwork.com. All you do is type in the phrase high ticket closer or remote closer or remote setter. That's it. You type it into Upwork. Another great place to find gigs would be the traditional job sites like Indeed, Monster.com. But I'm gonna give you a secret. My favorite places to find high ticket sales gigs for free are on Facebook. Facebook groups. If you type in the phrase high ticket closer jobs, high ticket closer gigs, sales professional gigs, remote sales pro gigs, you're gonna find tens of groups where you can go in and literally see recruiting managers, business owners, leaders like myself post job descriptions every day. And you can just apply and comment. In fact, my recruiting team is always in those groups. We have job descriptions, comments, messages every single day, making sure we hire the best talent. Also, in these Facebook groups, you're gonna meet what we call recruiters. Now, when I say recruiters, I don't mean the recruiter that works for my company. I mean actual recruitment companies that all they do is help you get on gigs. Here's the secret. You do not want to work with the recruiters that charge you money to get on offers. You want to work with recruiters that charge the business owners money to hire top sales talent. Think about why that makes sense. If you are in a job market, right, you are a talent, doesn't matter what industry, what job, let's say you're an engineer, you shouldn't have to pay someone to get you an engineering job. In fact, if you're a good engineer, companies will pay recruiting companies to headhunt you. They'll pay the recruiter to find you. So don't get scammed. Don't fall into this trap of paying someone because they promise you a gig. That's not real. And if they do promise you the gig, have that in writing, have it in a contract, ask them specifics about the gig. But to get into high ticket sales, those are the few platforms you can go to, and there are hundreds, if not thousands, of these job opportunities out there. Is it really as easy as they say? Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Is high ticket closing really the fast track to financial freedom every guru claims? I'll tell you this much. If you're not willing to work hard and put in the hours, it is not the right career for you. In my first year in high ticket sales, true story, I spent 8 hours a day on the phones, cold calling people. Then I spent 6 hours at night role playing, watching my calls, running back my game tape. That's 14 hours. 12 to 14 hour days I put in 6 days a week. Most people I know don't even want to work more than 8 hours a day. So if you're that kind of person, this is not the career for you. But if you're willing to put in those 10, 12-hour days, at least in the first 6 months of your career, I can promise you this is one of the most rewarding careers ever. In my highest months of commission, I made over $30,000 a month. And in my average months, I would average 15 to 20K a month. There's not a lot of jobs where you can work from home, not have to worry about clients, fulfillment, business, marketing, and make 15, 20K a month sitting at home, working in a nice room with good AC, with great lighting, with your dog next to you. There's not many gigs that can let you do that. But high ticket sales could if you're willing to put in the work. So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, oh, it's so easy, just buy my course, just do this, just sign up for that, and you're gonna make all the money you want. That's not true. I want to be very transparent and tell you that high ticket sales works. You can make multiple six figures a year, but the amount of work you have to put in is immense. At least for the first 6 months to 1 year. And if you're willing to put in those 6 months and 1 year of work, the rest of your career will be rewarding. I've been in high ticket sales now 7 years, going on 8. My first year was rough, but I still made 6 figures. I still made 100K a year that year. Now in my 7th year, I run a sales agency. We do multiple 7 figures. So I net close to a 7-figure income. But it took me 7, 8 years to go there. And I'm gonna do way more in the next 8 years, right? By the time I'm in year 15, I should be netting multiple 7 figures. But again, I can't say that it's true for you. I can guarantee that for anybody. I can tell you that this industry works. It's real, but the price to pay is high. I like the way Alex Hormozi talks about the concept of the season of learning versus the season of earning. High ticket sales is a perfect example of that. Your first 6 months is your season of earning. You're not gonna make much money. You might be making $2,000 a month if you're lucky, or $3,000 or $4,000 a month. But that's where you learn the most. And then you move into your season of earning, where you can make 5, 10, 15, 20K a month. But that happens after the initial period you put in, 6 months to 1 year. A lot of younger people, especially men, they wanna jump straight into earning. They wanna say, hey, Joel, I'm 18, I wanna make 100K a year. It's like, dude, you're not gonna do that unless you put in your season of learning first. But that's the reality of high ticket sales. So is high ticket closing the dream career? Like I said, it can be, but only if you're ready to become a student of the game and treat this like a real professional. If you're just chasing fast cash and influencer lifestyles, you're gonna burn out like the 90% who will never make it. If you're willing to master this skill, it can truly change your life.